Hello everyone, this is Dr. West and we're going to talk about organic and organic foods. Should you be eating them? What's the effect of GMO and the different types of farming practices? I think this is a really healthy way to live. I've seen this a lot in my practice. This is Dr. West coming at you with 102 years of healing and why you should be eating organic foods. Check it out. All right, so what this video is about is, should I be eating organic? What is organic food? What is real food? Should you be eating organic? What does organic mean? And simply stated, organic produce and other ingredients that are grown without the use of pesticides, synthetic fertilizer, sewage sludge, or genetically modified organisms, or ionizing radiation. Animals that produce meat, poultry, eggs, and dairy products that do not take antibiotics or growth hormones are considered organic. Now, the USDA has defined organic as the following: organic food that is produced by farmers who emphasize the use of renewable resources and the conservation of soil and water to enhance environmental quality for future generations. Organic meat, poultry, eggs, and dairy products come from animals that are given no antibiotics or growth hormones. Organic food is produced without using most conventional pesticides, fertilizers made with synthetic ingredients, or sewage sludge. Before a product can be labeled organic, a government-approved certifier inspects the farm where the food is grown to make sure that the farmer is following all of the rules necessary to meet the USDA organic standards. Companies that handle or process organic foods before it gets to your local supermarket or restaurants must be certified too. So does organic foods cost more? The truth of the matter is that organic food doesn't always cost more, and some items such as coffee, cereal, bread, and even hamburger may cost the same or even a little bit less than their conventional counterparts. And as demand for organic continues to grow, the cost will continue to come down. And when the cost is higher, consider these facts. Organic farmers don't receive federal subsidies like conventional farmers do. Therefore, the price of organic food reflects the true cost of growing. The price of conventional food does not reflect the cost of environmental cleanups that we pay through our tax dollars, and organic farming is more labor and management intensive. Organic farms are usually smaller than conventional farms, and so they do not benefit from the economies of scale that larger growers get. So organic foods, they may be more nutritional, and my favorite way to describe organic foods is it's intuitive, that the least amount of chemicals and synthetics that you can have on your food, the healthier that your foods are. Now, the benefits of eating organic is it helps you to avoid chemicals. Eating organically grown foods is the only way to avoid the cocktail of chemical poisons present in the commercially grown foods. More than 600 active chemicals are registered for agrocos in America, to the tune of billions of pounds annually, and the average application equates to about 16 pounds of chemical pesticides per person per year. Now, a pesticide is a poison. It's designed to kill bugs. We're just bigger bugs. So intuitively, I feel that eating healthy and organic is going to help you. Some of the studies suggest that there's benefit for organic foods. Some of the studies suggest there's no benefit, but I believe it's a healthier lifestyle. Now, many of the chemicals that were approved by the EPA before extensive dietary testing, the National Academy of Sciences reports that 90% of the chemicals applied to the foods have not been tested for long-term health benefits before they were deemed safe. Further, the FDA tests only about 1% of the foods for pesticide residues, and the most dangerous and toxic pesticides require special testing methods, which are rarely, if ever, employed by the FDA. So the benefits of eating organic: there's more nutrients. Organically grown foods have more nutrients, the vitamins, the minerals, the enzymes, and the micronutrients. And it's interesting, if you'll take organic food versus non-organic food, and perhaps it's in my mind, but it really feels like it tastes better because it's grown in soil that is managed and nourished with sustainable practices by people with responsible standards. The Journal of Alternative and Complementary Medicine conducted a review of 41 published studies and comparing the nutritional value of organically grown and conventionally grown fruits and vegetables, and concluded that there is significantly more of several nutrients in organic foods and crops. Furthermore, the study verifies that 5 servings of organically grown vegetables such as lettuce, spinach, carrots, potatoes, and cabbage provide an adequate allowance of vitamin C, whereas the same number of servings of conventionally grown vegetables do not. On average, organically grown foods provide 21% more iron, 27% more vitamin C, 29.3% more magnesium, 13.6 more phosphorus, and they seem to taste better. Now, they don't always look as big and they don't always look as beautiful, but the taste of organic foods generally tastes better because it's nourished, it's well balanced, the soil products are healthy, and it's strong plants. This is especially true with heirloom varieties, which are cultivated to taste over appearance. Now, eating organic helps us to avoid GMO foods, or genetically engineered and genetically modified organisms, are contaminating our food supply at an alarming rate. Now, this is my personal opinion. I've had some very, very educated people saying GMO foods are not nearly the culprit that everybody is saying they are, but it just feels better to eat organically because organically grown food cannot be genetically modified in any way. And choosing organic is the only way to be sure that the foods that have been genetically engineered stay out of your diet. And so here's what you need to know about GMO foods. 1, avoid hormones, antibiotics, and drugs in animal products, because those antibiotics and drugs go through the food supply and they can get into you, throw off your hormone imbalance, make you more susceptible for chronic infection. And conventional meat and dairy are highest risk foods for contamination by harmful substances. More than 90% of them have the pesticides that Americans consume are found in the fat and tissues of meat and dairy products. Now, the EPA reports the majority of pesticides intakes comes from meat, dairy products, because all of these are high up in the food chain. For instance, a large fish that eats a smaller fish that eats even a smaller fish accumulates all of the toxins in that chain, especially in the fatty tissues. Cows, chicken, and pigs are fed animal parts and byproducts, fish meal, and grains that are heavily and collectively laden with toxins and chemicals. And lower fat animal products are less dangerous as the toxin and chemicals are accumulated and concentrated in fatty tissues. So lean meats are healthier. Antibiotics, drugs, and growth hormones are also directly passed into the meat and dairy products. And tens of millions of pounds of antibiotics are used in animal feed every year. The Union of Concerned Scientists estimates that roughly 70% of antibiotics produced in the United States are fed to animals for non-therapeutic purposes. Farmers have been giving sex hormones and growth hormones to cattle to artificially increase the amount of meat and milk and cattle produce without requiring extra feed. The hormones fed to the cows cannot be broken down even at higher temperatures, and therefore they remain in complete form and pass directly to us, the consumer, in the diet when the meat is eaten. So hormone supplementation is a big concern with beef and dairy products and farm fish. And in the United States, the jury is still out, but in Europe, the scientific community agrees that there's no acceptable safe level for the daily intake of many of the hormones currently used in the United States and subsequently banned in all growth hormones. The majority concerns for U.S. consumers include the early onset of puberty, growth of tumors, heightened cancer risk, and genetic problems. And growth hormones are genetically modified and have been directly linked to cancer, especially in women. So many scientists and experts warn that the rampant use of antibiotics and growth hormones in animal feed and things like penicillin and tetracycline are going to breed an epidemic of medicine that there's really no defense against in the conventional medical world. Now, Dr. Ahmed, a senior scientist at the Natural Defense Resources, stated it's perhaps one of the most serious public health problems the country faces is the overutilization of antibiotics, growth hormone, and animal parts in our food supply. We're talking about rendering many of the most important antibiotics against disease ineffective. Choosing organic animal products, especially for children, pregnant women, and nursing mothers, we need to limit that as best as possible. Choosing organic helps preserve our ecosystems because organic farming supports the ecosystems in farming in harmony with nature. The preservation of soil crops and rotations is extremely important, and the chemical abstinence preserves the ecosystem. It helps with wildlife, insects, birds, and soil organisms that normally can't function with conventional farming practices. Now, eating organic helps to reduce pollution and protect water, contaminating our environment and poisoning our precious water supplies and destroying the value of the fertile farmland. Certified organic standards do not permit the use of toxic chemicals in the farming and the requirement responsibility for management of healthy soil and biodiversity. According to Cornell entomologist David Peniel, it is estimated that 0.1% of the applied pesticides reach the target pests. The bulk of them is left to impact the environment. And if we preserve the agricultural diversity, the rampant loss of species occurring is a huge environmental concern. It's estimated that 75% of the genetic diversity of agricultural crops has been lost in the last century. Leaning heavily on one of the varieties of a given food is a formulation for devastation. Every year, American tax dollars subsidize billions of dollars for a farm bill that heavily favors commercial agribusiness. And peeling back another layer of the modern farming onion reveals that the price tag cannot be accurately measured and certainly includes other detrimental associated costs as health problems, environmental damage, and the loss and extinction of wildlife and ecology. If you keep your children and your future health by putting money into organic, where our mouths are in a more powerful position to take back the $1 trillion food industry market in America, spending dollars in the organic sector is a direct vote for the sustainable future for many generations to come. Now, I think eating organic is healthy, it's sustainable, it's good for the ecology. It really helps to prevent autoimmune and chronic diseases. The healthier and alive your food is, the natural your food is, the healthier alive and the more natural you'll be. This is Dr. West. We'll see you on the next video. We just finished a video on organic foods, why you should eat them, why it's healthy for you. If you like the video, make sure that you click on the little bell and don't forget to share us, and we're across all different media platforms. We'll see you tomorrow.